So now, what do you think makes a normal relationship last?
Well, I feel like understanding is very important.
Okay.
Respect
Okay.
and love.
Mm.
I know when I say love,
Mm.
you use sex
Oh, I
to,
understand. I
but
understand
you know
where you're coming
you
from.
can really love someone. That's why you end up seeing people who are in relationship. Mr. Jibril, yeah, welcome to our show as usual. This is the second episode of the Jibril Show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am Jay. Yeah,
Canero GH.
Canary GH. We
Yes.
are all from the Jibril, so we welcome you back. So the topic for today is
Yes.
about, does virginity really count in marriages?
Hmm. Does virginity count in marriages?
Yes.
Hmm. Well, that's a very interesting topic. I mean, we are in the 25th century.
Yeah.
Yes, and as much as I would say it matters,
Okay.
for me, I believe it's not a definite for a decision in marriage.
Okay.
If I should get a woman who is a virgin
Okay.
or who has not encountered men before, it's 100% for me,
Okay.
right? But that also doesn't mean that if I have a woman and this woman is a caring and this woman is dedicated to have a character,
Okay.
and just because I'll say she's not a virgin, then I'll say I will not go for her. Definitely for me, I'll go for her. Yeah.
Good. So basically, according to your perspective, you
Hmm.
think that it doesn't really matter
Of
as
course,
long as the person is good to go.
exactly.
Yeah. But let's look at this traditional marriages,
Hmm.
whereby when you go to our villages and these remote places, in those areas, virginity really counts. It's like a
Hmm.
culture-based something.
Yeah.
Even so, aside that, we'll come and look at the religious aspect as well, and the societal impact too,
Hmm.
and the family consideration
Yes.
too. There are families that try to protect that as a prestige.
Hmm.
Like let's say with Islam also, there are some things we take into consideration,
Yeah.
and there is this whole culture around Islam when, or Zongo communities, when people get married and their first night, you have this family
Hmm.
wanting to know what really happened
Yeah. Hmm.
during the night, like their first night
Yeah.
together. What really happened? Did the husband see blood or not? All these things. And to broaden this topic, I'll say that these days, even virginity, not all virgins, I think, comes with blood, right?
Exactly.
You are in the medical field. You can
Hmm.
give us a brief, brief
Well,
information about that.
I believe that, as I said, with the issue of our ancestors, though it was a good practice, though, but we all know now why, or when we say someone is a virgin, the indication or what it means,
Okay,
right? And there is a tissue
okay,
or a cartilage
okay,
that is in a woman that has not been penetrated.
okay,
And the funny thing is, it's not always that you get bleeding after marriage because this cartilage can tear away even from just riding a bicycle or
okay,
from doing a vigorous activity,
okay.
right?
All right.
So with that, if we are going to use the traditional way of saying things and saying that definitely the indication for the woman being a virgin is when she bleeds.
Okay,
What if it happens that during her youth she did something vigorously and this hymen has what broken?
okay, okay.
Does that mean you are going to say you are going to not continue with the marriage because she's
There's
not
no,
a virgin?
so it's just
You
like
see,
goose one sold are not refundable.
refundable. You
So you can't
understand?
just marry
No,
someone
no,
and say
no,
she's
no,
not a
no,
virgin.
no.
You're bringing
Yes.
them back.
So I think it's more of education for our people to understand the concept. I mean,
Yeah.
it was a good concept for them at that time,
Okay.
but as I said, things are moving and things are changing.
Okay.
So there are certain perspectives that we have to look as individuals, right?
Yeah.
For me, the most important thing when it comes to marriage is who is the person you are going to marry. What's
Yeah.
the character of the person? You see, are you compatible with the person? Is the person has the qualities of being a good mother to your children?
Okay.
Those are the things you should consider. So I
Yeah.
don't think
That's very
sex
important. Yeah.
really matters whether the person
But
being a virgin or not.
here
Yeah.
is a case whereby I also heard some people making some comments regarding this situation. Like,
Mm.
if you that is not my point of view,
mm,
but what is circulating.
mm,
Like if you marry a woman who doesn't have experience sexually,
mm,
whatever you offer her, she accepts it.
mm,
She accepts it. You understand? Like
mm,
she doesn't make any comparison or something. It's okay for her. You are okay for her. Like when you go to this Arab world,
mm.
there are people who always say that Arabians don't perform very well, but their wives are very faithful to them because they have not tasted like one, two, three, Mister This and this and that. But when it happens that the woman has encountered, this youth of today, let's say a guy is dating a woman and he knows he's not going to marry, there's no way he's going to marry this woman.
Yeah.
You know how this guy will be hitting
It
this thing.
fucking.
There's a saying that if the car is not yours, the way you drive it
Yeah,
is
yeah,
different.
yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
people ride all this thing, and at the end of
Mm,
the day, it becomes yours,
mm,
and you want to handle it with care.
yeah.
But it seems the thing doesn't want. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you want to drive slowly, but the car has that big engine
Mm,
capacity,
the
and
brakes
I
are
think
not.
it has an effect. It has an effect. But just as you said, the most important thing is the person you are marrying,
Yes.
because I also personally don't believe in that someone has to be a virgin before,
Yeah.
because we are in a world where a lot of things have changed. This is a modern world. This is a new age where things have changed.
Of
We
course.
don't cling to the old cultural systems and all those things. There is technology. People want to try things out,
Yeah.
and people will definitely engage into all these sexual activities. The most important thing is having protection.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I personally feel like when you marry a woman who has a little bit of experience too, that
Yes.
one, that one
You see,
helps.
regarding that, as I said, when we are going to talk about the sex life,
Hmm.
it's a whole new topic on its own,
Yeah.
because I believe, uh, due to the experiences of our ancestors or the old generation, you
Yeah.
realize that these are topics that are not being talked about. So you realize that people are not being able to explore themselves to actually know themselves.
Yeah.
Now, you did make a comment about, if like us in the Arab country where you said the women have not tasted.
Yeah.
Now, it would be perfect if both the genders, the male and the female, have all not tasted anything. So it becomes a new experience for them,
Yes.
and
And
they
it
all use,
creates, yeah. Yeah.
exactly. So they all use that experiences to learn from it,
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
grow that from it.
Yeah.
But assuming the woman have not and the man has, the woman will be okay, but I do think the man will be okay unless this man finds a way to teach this
No, but
woman to adapt, to know herself
okay.
and all those things.
When it comes to the issue of men, it's a
Mm.
whole chapter on itself.
Ex-
Men
ex-
are
ex-
different
ex- ex-
species. Like,
yes, it's there, but I believe we are talking about marriage, and marriage involves the two,
yeah, the
right?
two of them. Yeah,
So
you're right.
definitely, if we are talking, we have to consider both sides,
Yeah.
right? Because the man should at least be able to also satisfy the woman just as much as the woman needs to satisfy the man.
Yeah.
If
True.
it happens that one side is satisfying the other, it means the other have the tendency of what, looking for other options.
And
Mhm.
and I think also there are times when you marry a woman, especially when she's a virgin and she's new to all these sexual activities, and she doesn't really find interest in those things. When someone is new to all those things, they don't really get that fun in it like those who have
Mm.
experience. So you might end up getting a man who's also a womanizer.
Okay.
Then it turns out to be a different issue because
Okay.
this man wants to, be
Mm.
on the
Mm.
run every day,
He
and
wants
the
to
woman
bang
is
them.
not ready. That one can also cause problems. So I
Mm.
think it shouldn't be like if you are not a virgin,
Mm.
you have a minus point. If you are a virgin, you have a plus point.
Mm.
There are advantages to both sides and disadvantages to both
Both sides.
sides. I believe so. Yeah.
Mm.
But
Mm.
what about this whole issue of saying that does sex on the first night or sex on the first date count in relationships?
Interesting. Actually, this is a very sensitive topic, I
Okay.
believe. Yes. For me, I don't think I'll pick a side to that,
Mm-hmm.
because I believe in a relationship or in everything, it depends on the connectivity
Okay.
you have with each other, right? If we meet and we are vibing, and one thing we have to understand, as much as there is we needing the sex is something that comes natural.
Yeah.
It's moved by the hormones, you see.
Okay.
So if you and I meet on the first day, and based on the experience on the first day, there is this kinetic energies flowing through us and it leads to something else. I don't think it's wrong. But it becomes wrong when before that meeting we plan and have the concept that no, this lady or this guy, as I'm meeting
Okay.
him today, I want to bang or I want to do.
Yeah, I want to
That's
hit
where I don't
hard.
think, yeah, that's why I don't, that one
Okay,
I don't
yeah,
believe
yeah,
is
it's
right.
true.
Yeah.
It's true.
Because I believe if you're really, really interested in someone, you want to date the person, you should have time to learn about the person,
Yeah.
to know each other to some point. Then I
Actually, the
believe
thing is that relationship is not about sex, man. It's
exactly.
not all about sex. Just as you said, I will
And
side with you. It has to. It's something that has to, when the flow, when the connectivity is there with each other, when the love is there, sex has to come out of it, like out of natural connection. But in this, Gen Z era, people
but
plan and.
as we are saying,
Mhm,
sex is not the main objective. Let's
mhm,
let's not uh, negate the fact that for me, I would say sex plays 60% of the role.
mm.
Yes, that's what I think.
Well,
You
I don't
see,
agree with that. This one,
you
for
see,
this one, I don't
yes,
agree with
yes.
that.
You see, sometimes we are not being truthful to ourselves,
Yeah.
and we try to ignore certain facts and make it sound like as much as the other components are as important as it is. You see, sex is something that connects the both of you, intimacy. That's why the white will say they are making love. And when you are making love with someone, there's some kind of spiritual connection within your person, the
Okay.
connection between your souls, right?
Okay.
And I believe anytime, that's if your mind or your concept in your mind is not just to bang and move away, and
Mm-hmm.
you are just interested in building a relationship. It puts you in a certain situation where, trust me, it builds you more.
Okay.
And you see, sometimes you may have all the characteristics, this character or whatever we are talking about. You are good, you cook, you have all those things. But trust me, if your sex life is not good, trust me, unless few people that will stay, most will what? They will pass behind your back.
So meaning sex has a very great impact in relationship
Exactly.
than any other factor.
Yes, that's
Because
what
you
I
said
believe.
60%.
Yes.
I also think, in my own way, sex is very important, but I feel like there are many other things that can make relationship very fruitful. Because when you come to this whole aspect of friendship, if we should talk expand this aspect of friendship and this bestie things they talk about, you end up realizing that friendships even last longer, way longer than relationships. So if you should differentiate between a relationship and friendship, the major difference is the sex.
Mhm.
So I feel like sex can also ruin relationship in a very, when the whole attention and energy is given to the
No,
to the sexual,
I don't
to
agree with
the
that
sexual
concept.
part of the
I don't no,
relationship.
no, I don't agree
Yeah,
with that
because
concept. I don't
because
agree with
see,
that concept.
sex is something that,
Yes.
see, let's when see, you are in the medical field, right? You
Okay.
can give me a very good detailed and a very good sex education here.
Okay.
That one I give that to you.
Okay.
But in my own understanding, I feel like sex is something that will unlock some certain features in a person that if you don't have control over that, it will ruin the relationship.
Okay. So now, what do you think makes a normal relationship last?
Well, I feel like understanding is very
Okay.
important, respect
Okay.
and love.
Mm.
I know when I say love,
Mm.
you use sex
Oh, I
to,
understand. I
but
understand
you know
where
you
you're
can
coming
you
from.
can really love someone. That's why you end up seeing people who are in relationship. Someone is dating someone seriously. They are having their sex, doing their things, but you end up seeing one partner, especially the lady, maybe admiring someone, being in love with someone else, even though they are not having sex, but she'll be looking for an opportunity to get to the person once a relationship is done. So I feel like that energy that is created, the bond that is created between the two of them, is heavier. It's something that sex is not. It doesn't include sex. You understand?
Okay.
So love can be a whole pillar without sex. Yeah.
Now, the reason why I say I don't agree with you is this.
Mm-hmm.
You see, let's all put at the back of our mind that in any kind of contract,
Okay.
right? Any kind of contract between two people or more people,
Okay.
we have the beneficiary, right?
Yeah, it's
So
true.
even in friendship,
Mm-hmm.
there is something I'm getting from you and there's something you are getting from me. Yes,
You think so?
yes,
Friendship.
yes.
There has
Normal
to be a
friendship.
benefit.
Yes, there's always a benefit.
No, that maybe that should be a friendship from
It
opposite sides,
no, no, no.
opposite
Even
gender.
even with equal genders,
Really?
yes, there is.
Wow.
Yes, there is. Because you see, let's assume you are a friend to me, right? and I'm doing all my best to you as a friend,
Yeah.
right? I give you the attention, we make the calls, we chat, and at certain point, there are certain things that if I need individually,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking of this thing, I should know that, oh, this person can help me in this thing, or this person, I know that you understand what I mean. For
Okay, so
example,
are you making are you making a reference to friendship of opposite gender, or friendship regarding like straight gender?
friendship in general, regardless
Friendship.
of it being same sex or opposite sex,
Okay.
whenever there is friendship,
Okay.
it's just like a contract of opposite sex relationship. There is a benefit to both sides. You may
Mm,
have, you see, sometimes because we don't actually think about it, so we look at it like friendship. That's why, for example, if you are my friend and there is a certain thing I expect you to do as a friend and you are not doing, at a certain point I get tired of that friendship. Are you aware of
yeah,
that?
it's true. That one is
Yes,
actually true.
because why? There's a certain characteristics that I expect to see in my friend, or a
Yeah.
certain thing I expect that my friend should be able, or there is a certain group of activity that I expect that, no, as my friend, you should behave this way, you shouldn't behave this way. So someone can tell you that, me, if I come in a community and the guys I so called my friends are not able to afford this, or are not able to do this kind of thing, I can't take them as a friendship.
So that one, you are building a class for yourself,
Yes, that's
and
what I'm
it's
saying.
perfectly
Even if
fine.
it
Yeah.
is not discussed,
Yeah.
it is there.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It is there.
Yeah.
And that's why you see that some people are able to be in a relationship for a very long time, and some are not being able to be in a relationship for a very long time. Because why? If it becomes a one-way kind of relationship where
Yeah.
only one-sided, you are my friend,
Yeah.
and every day you come to the house, all you know is to come and eat in my house.
Hmm.
Every day you don't do anything for
You have
me.
no benefit,
No,
like
you see, so
useless.
I don't feel any benefit from you as a friend. You understand? So at some point, I'm going to sit and think like, this guy is like, all he cares about is the food he comes to
But
eat in my
what
house.
about these friends who just follow you whatever you do? If you like today, I want to go and watch match. You like me too. Yeah, me too.
That's what
Like
I'm
what
saying.
about this one?
Even in those ones, there is something. See, if they are not getting something from you,
Yeah.
they will not follow you.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You see where getting
Okay.
at?
So
There
that
is
means
there is a benefit they are getting from you that is making them to take the decisions that, oh, based on this benefit,
yeah.
let me follow him. You
Okay.
understand? If assuming they are not getting any benefit of any kind,
Yeah, and let me also build the point on what you are
mm,
saying.
yeah,
As long as they are getting something from you, they are following you, right?
exactly,
So I think you can also make good use of that friendship by benefiting from them. When you
exactly,
need someone to do something that they follow you because they need something to put into their stomach, right?
exactly.
To fill their belly. You can also use that friendship to I mean,
Mm.
to fulfill your needs like errands, like
That's just a category we are using as an example. It's not
okay.
every friendship that is based on food
Yeah,
and
so
what. Yes.
I'm making
So
reference to what you
yes.
were saying. Yeah.
So someone, it could be emotional support. There's
Mm,
someone in his life based on the experiences he's going through. He needs
yeah,
someone to give him emotional
yeah.
support,
Some to
give
be
him
on
sweet
based on
words.
vibes.
Exactly.
Football, they watch football
Exactly. So when
together.
he links with you and he gets that vibe from you,
Yeah.
he's able to relate. He knows that,
That
oh,
I feel like proper friendship is built from childhood. I also feel like not all proper friendships, but
you could say it that way.
not all friendships,
You could
but
say it
most
that
of the
way that
proper
I believe
good.
it's not the childhood that makes the friendship special,
Okay.
but it's the bond that is created
Yeah,
from
it
the
was created from
childhood.
childhood. Good.
Yes, because there are people who have been friends from childhood, and if the bond is not there,
Yeah,
at
yeah,
some
yeah.
point you realize, yeah. I had a friend who I grew up with, and at some point he sees me and he expects me to be the one to. And you know that one thing
To
about.
say hi and hello.
Exactly. Especially those friends of yours who at some point they get make money and they
Oh,
see you and they feel like,
or they have all
oh
these
yeah.
good
So
good
now they expect
universities
you
and
to
all
be
those
the
things.
one to be the one. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it's there. So it's mutual.
I
It's
understand.
mutual.
So they
So
are trying to create a class for themselves.
exactly.
Good. So I think yeah, you've raised some points there. Next time I'll prepare and battle you over this because I'm still not buying your ideas, but because
Oh
I'm
yes.
short of
I
words, so
mean,
I have to take it like
yes,
that.
yes.
But um, the next thing I would like to talk about is can you differentiate between lust and love? Like you as a man, how can you differentiate between lasting for a woman and love? Because why I brought this thing up is that see the ladies of today. I am a man. ladies of today are suffering out of this thing. Ladies are suffering so much because even most men, most guys don't even know the difference between love and lust. When they meet someone, they feel like, oh, they love the person. Like just in a whole day, like let's say in the first 5 minutes, a guy falls in love with a lady, and and everything goes on well. Then in the next 2 months, then everything is done. Some even last just 1 week, 1 week or 2 weeks. Yeah. So I feel like this is something we need to focus on, love and lust. How do you differentiate and how do you educate us in differentiating between this so that we don't make mistakes? Yeah.